What's up, guys? Everyone is here back with another Raid Shadow Legends video. In today's video, it's a little bit different for me here. I'm on an account. It's a little bit of an account takeover, and I'm on Xavier's account. He is a viewer of mine, and he also joined the Discord, so consider joining the Discord down below. Xavier, thank you for letting me hop on your account today. He wants me to do some gear cleansing, or rather not gear cleansing, gear upgrades on champions. And he wants me to build his Taras, his Rhodos to be regeared, as well as a Sun Wukong regearing, because he wants to compete a little bit more in arena, other areas of PvE, but mainly it's probably focusing on arena with Taras as well as Rhodos builds. So this guy, Xavier, is also free to play like me. He's been playing about as long as me, maybe a little bit less, and his roster is pretty awesome. I actually really like his roster. He has such a vast amount of champions. He has way more legendaries than me, I believe, and a lot more void legendaries. Like, at the end of the day, you have to be, it's a lot about luck when you get void legendaries or legendaries in general. So if you're really unlucky like me, I don't get void legendaries at all. I think I pulled what, 4 or 3 void legendaries in total in 4 years, over 4 years playing. But again, that's just because I'm extremely unlucky. So whereas this gentleman, Xavier, he does have a lot of void legendaries, and they're the top void legendaries for that matter. Double Sifi, which is insane. So 2 really fast Sifis, one going at like an incredible speed here, 361 in all speed. And then like, it's not the fastest in the world, but it's really fast. It's extremely fast. 326, that's very respectable. And he has an RB on here that's 370 speed. Super respectable speeds. Like, that's really good. I mean, again, not the number 1 free play in the world or anything, but very, very strong player. It seems like he goes for majority, if not all, of the fusions. He also has a mythical champion in Arbaeus, who is really powerful. Great stats. I mean, he has a lot of champs well over 300 speed. So this account is pretty stacked. Valkyrie, I don't have her. Taras he has. I mean, he just has an insane amount of voids. Yumeko, double Sifi. I mean, they're all the strong voids, right? The meta voids that you want. He also has a Sir Nick. This was the first void legendary I pulled on my account. He has, who else? He's got Lysandra. He just got Ramontu, as you saw on the homepage there. And he's got a Trunda +1. He has 3 champions at +1 on his account. I don't even have a single +1 champion yet on my account. So he's got Rhonda, Ninja, and Trunda, who is super powerful for the Hydra, right? So let's take a look at his faction guardians. So he's doing pretty good. Did he get any of them filled? He actually doesn't have any of them filled, so he opted to go with the +1 on a few champions without filling the faction guardians first. It's more of a opinion of your own account and how you feel about the game. There's no wrong or right or wrong thing to do there. I mean, in general, many players will go for the faction guardians first and then do the +1s on their champions, but that doesn't necessarily mean you have to do that. If you want a +1 champions, absolutely go ahead and do it. It's just based on what your thoughts and feelings are about the game. At the end of the day, it's a video game, so you don't need to follow the rules. You can do whatever makes you happy, right? That's why I continue playing the game, because I do what I want, right? This guy's doing what he wants. Free-to-play players, it's a different life. Like, we do things differently. We all have our own niches. We all have our own specific tendencies, and that's a certain tendency. He likes to do that, clearly. So hats off to him, though. 3 +1 champions on a free-to-play account. That's pretty strong. So let's take a look at Sun Wukong. So Sun Wukong is a damage dealer on his account. You want him going fast. You want him going, like, this is a really good build. A little bit over on the crit rate, because he probably just has no gear that's going to lower the crit rate. And it is in lethal and cruel, so very strong gear, and his gear is almost fully ascended. Strong stats. I mean, in general, he's got a really, really solid build already on Sun Wukong. So as you can see, 226 speed, 306 crit damage. I mean, respectable, man. 5,600 on the attack. He's going with Helm Smasher. got the additional accuracy to try to do like a pseudo support build. Soul Reap, that's also what I have on my Sun Wukong. Fully booked. Strong champion. Even though there's a blue piece of gear, this is still a strong piece of gear with the additional 80, what is that, 87 on the attack. So that's not bad at all. But in general, over time, he's going to be able to get upgrades. I mean, he has 2 5-star pieces of gear here, which are still pretty damn strong. Crit damage, speed, crit rate, attack. That's what you're looking for on a champion like this. Attack percent, speed, crit damage, crit rate, and accuracy, especially for Sun Wukong, is very, very respectable. And that's what you want for him. You want him to have some accuracy to strip those buffs on certain champions, especially the Georgians of the world. You want to strip the unkillable on like a Leorius, or make it so that Leorius can't get unkillable if you place the block buffs, right? So strong champion. He wants me to try to see if we can get a better build on this guy. Then next up we got Rhodos, and his Rhodos is pretty thick here, and he's 265 speed. Now I will say he is fully awakened, and as you saw, he doesn't have more than 2 of the legendaries in the faction guardians for that. I think it's undead. Yeah, so he only has 2 here, but as time goes on, he'll be able to fill in his faction guardians and get a faster speed, more damage, more HP, more defense, things like that on the Rhodos. So that's huge. And yeah, he's actually messaging me back and forth right now as we talk. So he's got so many messages going on with me. But either way, we're going to try to build this guy. And I don't know how much more we're going to do because this is a strong build. The only suggestion I would have is to get a little bit more attack and maybe drop the HP for like 6 or 6.5k attack. I guess you could drop the HP to like 52,000, 53,000. But his speed is what's very, very commendable here. 265 speed Rhodos. I mean, you're going to want to, everybody's going to want to aim for around 250 plus speed if they can help it. But if you can only get 220 to 240 speed Rhodos in the end game, like this is an end game account, right? Or very, very late game account at the bare minimum, where he's doing basically all content in the game, I assume. I haven't actually looked at that, but let's take a peek here. I mean, if he's doing like Iron Twins and other things like that nature, like Iron Twins 15's done. I mean, I'm assuming all the spirit keeps and stuff are done. That's simple. So he's just focusing on stage 25. He just has to build a team for Shogun. That'll be easy for him. He's got a team for stage 25 here. It's not consistent probably, but he does have the Sand Devils done. As you can see, he's upgraded and ascended a lot of gear, so he just probably farms this overnight. 14 minutes. I mean, it's difficult. It's very difficult content because you need specific champions, specific builds. You got to remove masteries so you don't proc specific procs. Like my team is like a under 4-minute team, but it's 100% consistent with Newt and a couple of other, like quite a few epics, as well as I think another champion too. But yeah, let's see how he's at in this one. Stage 10 of Hard Fire Knight, 658. That's respectable. That's about my time that I have, around 6 to 8 minutes, but it's not consistent for me. So I bump it back to stage 6, which I'm sure he probably just does stage 6 at 3 minutes, which is strong. Fire Knight or Dragon Hard, minute 24 seconds. That's good. I mean, he's got great teams. 34 second stage 10 there. I mean, in general, he's got great teams. The only one that he's struggling on right now is stage 10. I personally use RTAC to farm stage 9 in about under 2 minutes. And basically you get to the boss and you solo. And as I get better gear for my RTAC, I'm going to be able to farm stage 10 with RTAC and solo that when I get to the boss, or duo it with like Elva or something like that. And then, of course, Minotaur is going to be easy for him. So the last person he wants me to build is Taras. So he did mention that Eric's is one of his main nukers. Let's take a look at her build. About 100k, very close to 100k on the HP, 190 speed, 240 close to for crit damage and crit capped. So strong champion, fully booked. Ward of the Fallen, which is great because it helps her survive longer. She already has a great passive healing in her kit, right? So this one right here heals this champion 5% of their max HP each time an enemy inflicts a critical. That heal is so clutch for Eric's and can keep you alive and could be the one thing that allows you to win in the fight, right? So he also has Helm Smasher for her for more damage. Don't sleep on Eric's ever. She's actually an insanely strong champion. A lot of people sleep on her because she's not like meta changing or meta breaking, but she is extremely powerful. So strong champion. But now he has Taras. So Taras, he wants to build and rebuild actually. So he wants better gear, which means I may end up taking off the gear potentially off of certain champions to get Taras to be his main nuker. This is going to be the one he's going to want to use going forward. Like, he's going to be used over Rodos all day. I think him, Sun Wukong, and Rodos should be his main damage dealers at this point. I mean, who else does he have? Let's take a look here. I feel like that should be it, right? Armand's is just there for speed and, you know, annoying stuns. Corrado, I don't really like Corrado personally. He's not really that great. He's only good when you have Yumeko, but he still doesn't hit that hard. And then, I mean, he has Nishak, who's strong. He has him in a little bit of a damage build as compared to, but this isn't really like his champion he uses per PvP most likely. Helicath actually could be really helpful for him in a lot of situations. Super fast. Yeah, that's a good build. I would definitely recommend utilizing Helicath, especially for live arena. I don't have Helicath, but I would utilize them in live arena all day. I do use Samson. If you guys follow me, you know I use Samson as my damage dealer. This is obviously like his 6th or 7th, maybe even 8th damage dealer on the account. So this is not really his full damage dealer here. He does buff himself with crit damage by 30%, which is nice. Cupid is super strong. Ragash is somebody he could potentially build. But if you don't have enough like defensive gear, it's just hard to build Ragash out. I for one have Ragash on my account. I don't have the defensive base damage gear to build him out. So it's kind of tough. Plus Ragash also loves a bit of accuracy to land that decreased defense. He's also a bit of a sheep magnet if he does land the decreased defense or the stun. Ancora is also extremely powerful. He's got her in he's probably trying to build her and place her somewhere like I would assume either Cursed City with this destroy set or Scarab boss, something like that. That's what it feels like because she does do a shield on here. Yeah, strengthening shields. So probably focusing on the Scarab boss for Cursed City, I would assume. But yeah, I mean, Magnar could also be a damage dealer, but he's pretty strong on his account too. But honestly, he's probably just going to focus on, he's going to want to focus on Taras, on Sun Wukong, and on Rodos at this point. And then his UDK is good too. A little bit over 600 resistance, decent stats as well. Yeah, so let's start with, I think we're going to start with Taras, to be honest. But let me see. I think he wanted me to focus on, actually, now that I think about it, I think he was hoping to focus on his Sun Wukong first. Yeah, he is. So we're going to start with Sun Wukong. So I'm going to be right back. I'm going to build him in the optimizer for Hell Hades and utilize Hell Hades optimizer. It's the best thing that you can use if you have a PC. If you don't have a PC, where Xavier actually doesn't have a PC, he only has a cell phone that he plays on. So super respectable to him to be able to utilize a cell phone only and never utilize PC. That's crazy. Also, I never like fact checked whether or not he's free to play or not, but I'm going based on the honor code here. So he said he's free to play. I believe that he's free to play. You know, he has good gear. It's not outlandish. It's nothing like super insane, but he has played for many years and he goes for every fusion. So like I said, he's got also a lot of really strong Void champions. Grazor is also insane. So let me actually take a quick peek before I go into the optimizer here at his Void champs. Yeah, so he's got Emic, Double Sifi, Yumeko, probably got the Torment from the previous Titan event, Visix, Arbiter, login and missions, Hydra champion Mithrala that you get. Got Lydia from the from completing Faction Wars, Fusion, pull from a shard, this guy was in the clan shop in what's his name, Yakarl. So yeah, he doesn't have a crazy amount of Void legendaries, but he does have the Void legendaries that he does have are meta. So hats off to him for getting so lucky and getting a double CV. That's insane. All right, so I'm gonna hop into the Hell Hades optimizer, build out the Sun Wukong, and we'll come right back. Let me just showcase to you really quickly again the Sun Wukong build for a second or two. If you want to do a snapshot, this is his build currently: 226 speed, 306 crit damage, 5600 on the attack, and I'll be right back. All right, y'all, we are back. So I re-geared the Sun Wukong on Xavier's account, or Xavier. I'm not sure how you say it. Is it Xavier or is it Xavier? All right, so let's see here. We've got now 6,054 attack. Of course, with a little help from Sand Devil. I tried to roll this one up, and unfortunately, we couldn't land on attack percent. So he could Chaos Dust it if he'd like, and focus on Sand Devil on that one. I did also change a piece of gear off Ragash to put this on here, the amulet. Crit damage, a little bit more accuracy on it. I did Chaos Powder it to get crit damage 2 attempts. So we'll get more crit damage in the end from him farming the Phantom Shogun. Also, you can get more accuracy on here or potentially attack. Personally, I would go for attack on this one, not accuracy. But of course, we landed on HP. But we're going to want attack or accuracy on this one. Preferably, if you want more damage, you're going to want to go for that attack, of course. It's got attack here, which is nice on the ring. I took the speed boots off of the Taras, which I might consider putting it back on him depending on the situation. Because personally, I would rather have Taras with the crazy stats like this. But overall, 254 speed, 319 crit damage, 306 accuracy. Incredible gear on the account. He has really, really good, respectable gear. But that's really great, especially for live arena. 254 plus speed. You're going to want to aim. If you want to be the top like 3,000 players, you want to aim for 260 plus speed, like maybe 280 plus speed if you could help it. I mean, the top 200 have 300 plus speed damage dealers. So, you know, they're just absolutely nuts, right? But great gear here in lethal and cruel. So we kept the lethal and cruel there, same as last time. So he's going to do some insane damage. A little bit more attack as well. I think his attack was like 56 or 5,800 last time. He was at 226 speed and about 300 crit damage. So he did drop a little bit of accuracy, but, you know, of course, he could always glyph some of these pieces, right? Get another, 8 here. Potentially reroll into accuracy if he wants it. Attack percent here he can get, which will give him another 200, probably 200 to 300 attack. So, and then attack here flat, which is another about 150 to 200 right there. So in general, he's looking pretty good. So that's the first champion. The next champion we're going to want to build, I personally would say, because this build's already really strong on Rhodos, it's already a strong build. 265 speed, 100% crit rate, 300 crit damage, 5,300 attack. Again, the attack is what I'd want to focus on and get it to 6k or more, and maybe drop a little bit of HP to 50,000 at the lowest. But attack is where you're going to want, especially for this ability right here, for Fated Destruction. This does pretty insane damage with attack. It scales, I think, higher on attack for that one. But, so, what we'll do is we're going to go to Taras next, and we'll focus on Rhodos last since his gear is already really strong. I'm also going to change this to Arena Build 1, so that way you can actually choose a champ tag, especially if you're searching for champions in Arena or Live Arena. That's extremely beneficial if you utilize them mainly in Arena. So let's go on to Taras. So Taras is, we took off his gear, his boot, so he did lose a lot of speed and crit rate, crit damage. But we're going to try our best to take off gear from Eric's, which is his main damage dealer, and maybe take gear off of other damage dealers like Samson, you know, and see what we can get for a build. Likely it's going to be lethal. Most free-to-play players like myself, Xavier, other free-to-players are low spenders. Most of the time, and in general, honestly, just players in general, their main damage gear is going to be lethal these days because of Dark Fae. You know, you're going to get more forge material, and plus lethal gear is just better in general because you can also get mythical now if you farm Cursed City. So lethal gear, in my opinion, is better than savage gear still, plus because of the crit rate percentage plus 10%. I mean, it's just way better. So that's what I typically farm for. And this is actually a pretty solid piece. It doesn't have speed on it, I'm surprised he had this on. I didn't even realize. But HP on the gauntlet. If you can get HP percent with HP percent, quad crit rate or quad crit damage on a gauntlet like this and get your HP nuker, get the other supporting stats with crit rate, crit damage, and speed to equate to like 260, 270 crit damage, but you'll end up getting 120,000 plus HP on your damage dealer that's HP. That's actually pretty strong. I wouldn't throw this piece away. Obviously, he could keep it for future reference, but we're most likely going to switch it out for a crit damage gauntlet if the optimizer opts to go for that, which majority of the time it will, because it's going to want to give him as much crit damage as possible and as much HP as possible too. The rest of the stats are just a bonus, right? Especially speed. You want to have at least 220 speed on Taras. That's what I would suggest. If you can go faster, amazing. But Taras has, why he's so strong is he has his passive abilities to negate damage and decrease the enemy's attack over time and fear when he first is out there. Incoming damage reduced from skills by 50% is ridiculous. When he's attacked, champion max HP will be decreased by 25% of the attack's initial damage before the damage reduction. I mean, this guy's just absolutely insane. Complete nuke on this ability to one-shot anybody. Super nuke on this one with big buffs. If he had a Duchess, then he would be huge. He's actually looking for a Duchess, but Sifi is who you're going to want to pair him with at this point. He doesn't have Marichka, of course, but Sifi is who you're going to want to pair with because she places all the buffs. And yeah, this guy's insane. Plus, he has a crit rate aura of 24% if you wanted to utilize him in the lead. Personally, I would utilize him in the lead if you're just going for like classic or tag team. But for live arena, you're probably going to go with a speed lead most likely, unless you have ridiculous gear on your damage dealers, like 300 plus speed. So anyways, let's go ahead and do this. We're going to go ahead and re-gear Taras, and then we'll be right back. Let me just go ahead and showcase to you again. 164 speed. He doesn't have the boots on again, so 45 speed on top of that, right? And 100% crit rate. He had about 220 crit damage with the boots. So we'll be right back after I get him built. All right, y'all, we're back again. I was able to go into the Hell Hades optimizer and get a re-gear, actually with lethal, surprisingly enough. So he has tons of lethal gear on his account that is very strong. I did roll up some lethal gear, and I also pulled off gear off of champions. I was able to pull off some gear from Samsung that he doesn't really utilize, I'm pretty sure, very often. And we got this insane piece that wasn't even on any champions. It was just HP percent. I re-rolled it a couple times. I did have to utilize a couple of rework attempts with Chaos Dust, but we landed on speed. That's what we're looking for. Of course, it would have been much better if we had, instead of attack percent here, speed again. Resistance is okay, but preferably flat stat HP would have been amazing. And then the crit rate, crit damage is insane. So still a really strong boot right here for Taras. But again, it was better than gearing him into the Eric's Savage gear. The reason why is because the Savage gear was only giving him like 219, 225 crit damage and about 95 to 98,000 HP. But honestly, with this build here, he doesn't have any blessings. So blessings going to give him another 7,500 on the HP, which will bring him over 100,000 HP. He has a lot more defense than he would have gotten on the Savage gear, probably by like 200 or 300. And then his speed is a lot higher too than the Savage gear. The Savage gear was giving him about 190 to 195 speed. So with the lethal gear, he's much faster, especially with this piece right here with the additional speed from the Ascension. And this is respectable. Also, way higher crit damage. So in general, he's going to be well over 300 crit damage when he gets a 4-star blessing. He's going to have great speed in general. It's okay to have Taras at lower speeds. Obviously, if we can get it higher, is always going to be better. But because Taras has that built-in damage negation, it's fine that he's slower. It's totally fine that he's slower. With your higher damage dealers, they're going to want to be faster. Rhodos is also a champion that is okay to lose a little bit of speed, but because he's so fast, I'm honestly considering not rebuilding the Rhodos unless I can just give him like 700 attack without really harming his speed too much. But that's going to be a little bit of a difficulty for me to get. So I really like this new Taras build. He has super big room for growth. Obviously, he can consider going for crit damage here or going with HP percent on the gauntlet to have even more survivability damage with the HP percent, or go with crit damage to just really spike and hike up that crit damage even more. Obviously, me personally, it's a toss-up. I would rather go with more HP for more survivability and potential damage rather than just the crit damage. I mean, I know that once you hit about 110,000 HP, the damage starts to fall off with the HP percent, but the survivability does increase with more HP. So because he has such a crazy kit with surviving on his own as a damage dealer, personally, you can go either way. Neither way, right or wrong, both of them are fine. And then here he's going to want HP percent, not accuracy. Go HP percent. He's going to need to re-roll this. I did try to work it one time, but HP landed great on here. HP landed great on here. We got defense here. Preferably, we're going to want HP here as well for more damage. And the boots are great. And then for the banner, you're going to want to get HP on here instead. You're going to want to get HP on here as well. I found a triple roll on the ring, which is pretty awesome. And then I kept the Slayer set. The reason why is because it has 5% crit rate. Again, his crit damage is just fine. I think this is okay. Plus, he has a double roll on HP here. It's not maxed, but he could max it at some point. So in general, strong build. Obviously, it's going to get better over time. All right, so the last champion we're going to go to is Rhodos. Again, I don't know if I can actually rebuild him and get him even better stats. He's got the reaction gear here, which is very strong too. This is a defense reaction gear though. Personally, this is the piece that you'd want to get attack. This is the piece you want to potentially even re-roll it because he doesn't need more defense, honestly. He needs more attack. If you're looking for more damage, he just needs straight up more attack. So I think he's keeping the reaction though, just in general, because of the fact that it mitigates so much damage if he's not able to go first. In live arena, he's not going first. In regular arena, he's probably going first. So yeah, in general, I just feel like this piece needs to be attack based. This is only a 5-star piece. It is attack. He could go for attack here as well. It does have really good substats though, double percentage in HP and speed. So it's a very strong banner for 5-star considering it is legendary as well. Of course, over time, he's going to want to get 6-star banner here. If I were to just go flat out for all damage and remove the reaction gear, I could, but he actually wants to keep the reaction gear on his Rhodos. So that's going to be a little bit challenging if he wants to get more stats, right, for the attack or for, HP. So let me take a look at the optimizer, see if I can make a change in his build, but his build's already really respectable, super fast. The only thing I would suggest is bringing up his attack more. Obviously, his speed's going to get better over time with Faction Guardians, but yeah, I think his attack just needs to be higher, and one of the reasons would be because of this ring right here. It's defense and defense. I'd rather see it be attack with attack percentage, something like... he could re-roll this piece too and try to go for attack, but the chances are slim that he's going to get what he wants, and it could end up ruining the piece too. But, it's high risk, potentially high reward. So a piece like this, triple HP is okay, but preferably we're going to want more attack. Again, this one's decent. This one's okay. So I don't think he has like crazy strong pieces here that have more attack for him. I think that's the problem. This is the best one, I think, right here with more HP, a little bit more attack. But it's not a substantial amount of attack, so it's going to be difficult to get a good regearing. We'll see what happens with the Hell Hades optimizer, so I'll be right back. All right, y'all. So I did do the optimizer for Rhodos in Hell Hades optimizer here. And I'm going to pull up the optimizer, actually. I kind of want you guys' feedback on this because he's got... decent stats here. Based on the Hell Hades optimizer, it's actually showcasing that he'll do more damage with less HP and higher on the... Let me see if I can scroll in here. Hopefully you all can see this okay. So Rodos's damage, to switch to this gear right here. So we're taking off Gaius the Gleeful, and you know, decent piece here, decent piece. I wish that this was on attack percent. HP is fine too. Defense percent's decent, but 23 speed is huge. 23 speed here. We're gonna keep 3 pieces here. He's gonna keep the reaction pieces in the amulet, but the piece of gear reaction would be taken from Sifi, would give him a little bit more attack by 15%, which is helpful, and that's why it helps out a little bit with the attack. The attack chest plate would be really helpful too, because right now he has an HP chest plate, and again, based on Hell Hades Optimizer, it is stating that you will gain more damage on the A3 specifically with more attack. So based on the numbers in Hell Hades Optimizer, Rotos scales better from the attack, not HP. So people can comment down below if you want to get some feuds going. Do you think that Hell Hades Optimizer is wrong here? Do you feel like HP is better? Personally, I hear a lot of mixed reviews about HP versus attack for Rotos. But again, based on Hell Hades Optimizer, we upped the attack, we lowered the HP, and he's doing more damage. So numbers don't lie, right? Typically numbers don't lie. He will have a lot less effective HP, you know, in terms of the gain here. I wonder if this is total damage, but this is the one part that I actually am unsure about how to read for the differential, minus 15%, minus 31%. Do we go based off of this? Because this is effective HP, not damage. But it does say damage here in this row, so this is total damage versus a gain of minus 31,000. So do we go based off of this, Hell Hades, or do we go based off of this stuff up here? I'm not sure. I never actually read into that into full detail. What I would typically look at is just these ones right here, the first 3 that are green, and I'd be like, yep, that's it. That means it's good. But then how does it equate to minus 31,000 for effective EHP level? I assume that's because of the ascensions and the amount of glyphs that you have into the artifacts. I assume that's just his total EHP score or something based on the optimizer. Again, if you want to coach me on that, or not coach me, rather inform me and maybe give me a little insight on that, leave your comments down below. So I don't really read into the EHP much because I just don't really understand that portion. But yeah, so anyways, but based on this, it's the optimizer is picking this as the top build. It's at the top here. Of course, you can pick out other builds as well, but it's less HP. But this is the top build. Typically, the one at the top is going to be the best build, and that's why we're picking this one. So yeah, I mean, it's the best gear we could go with. It's also with Cruel as well as Lethal, so that's super strong. Whereas before he had, let me show you right now. He currently has the chest plate as Fatal, which is not ignoring 5% additional defense. It's actually just giving him crit rate and attack percent, which is nice, but these are 2 good pieces. But again, ignoring defense is going to do more damage than the attack percent or HP percent in general. So ignore defense gear is going to be way stronger than the Fatal gear, just in general. So let me just take a look to see. I've been messaging Xavier back and forth in terms of this build to see whether or not he actually wants to go with this build on Hell Hades Optimizer, and I'll get right back to you. All right, y'all, we're back. So he did approve me to go ahead and make the gear change based on the Hell Hades Optimizer here. Again, ignore defense is massive, and people sometimes sleep on that, thinking that the attack percent is better than, like, the additional attack stats or HP stats are going to be better than a straight up 5% ignore defense. But I can tell you right now, the 5% ignore defense is going to be massive. Let's see if we can get speed on this for the video. I am losing all of his chaos dust, but let's see. Oh! Okay, for the video, baby. All right, so yeah, I mean, oh man, this is good. This is really good. Okay, this is the perfect piece. Speed, HP percent, attack percent, crit rate, crit damage. I mean, taking this from Stag Knight or whoever it was is perfect. Yeah, Stag Knight I took this off of. So as you can see, 264 speed, still at this around the same speed. He's gonna have way higher speed in the end. So he's gonna have what we're looking at 9 more speed. So what is he? 264, 273 speed just from that, plus an additional 5 speed right here with the 5-star glyph. You know what? For the video, boom, 3. Okay, better than nothing. He's actually at over 265 now, but he can upgrade this even further. He's at 60, almost 6,200 attack. He can get attack percent here on the chest. You know, we could slap on a glyph here as well. Why not? 15 there. Put some defense. Why not? 15 there as well. So like I said, this is going to be a better build overall. I haven't even taken the gear off of Sifi. So this piece right here should be from Sifi. However, honestly, should be fine right now. 6,200. You can get way more than that. But 267 speed, it's going to get to 280 speed almost here. So 2 here, 9 here, so that's 11 more. So he's looking at 278 speed plus additional speed here, plus 4. That's 282. Okay, that's maxed. So you're looking at least 282 speed after all said and done there. This one's maxed as well on the banner. So yeah, I mean, 282 speed with all the glyphs and everything, and just making sure you can ascend this stuff. Let's see if we can get a good ascension here too. Might as well for the video. Let's see. Oh my god, dude. Look at that. This is insane luck right now. Alright, so more attack, 6,300 now. And then if I were to put, I would go with HP here. I would definitely go with, what else is there? So with the Sifi piece is going to give more HP. So he is at only 48,000 HP, I will say, but still, with the ignore defense, it's going to do more damage. Let me see if we can go to equipped here. What does she get? A defense ring? Yeah, it's a defense ring. So he'd get more on the HP. Let's go ahead and go to fitting room. So the optimizer is saying to take this piece to get 50,000 HP with 6,179. Okay, on the attack, or 6,300. Honestly, the HP being at 50,000 is probably better. Yeah, I mean, they're very minimal amounts. We're still going with the ignore, with the defense. He'll get a little bit more HP or potentially attack on the helmet as well. So, to be honest, I don't think this makes a huge difference. He'll be at around 50,000 just from getting HP flat stat on the helmet. He'll be very close to 50,000. And then potentially just upgrading some HP percent on pieces. Like this one here, HP percent. You know, if we can get more, obviously it's only 5-star, so I wouldn't even want to risk that. But again, we're looking for HP percent. We're looking for flat stat HP. He could potentially get more on other pieces here. So this one here could get more, but he only has 5-star on the HP. That's maxed, maxed. So there you go. I mean, this one has potential to get 750, but it's only 200 more, right? So we're not even going to roll that one up. I honestly, based on the optimizer, it's saying to slap this piece on to get a little bit more HP, to go to the 50,000 HP with 6,200. Again, we got more speed for you. Even with less crit damage, due to ignore defense, you're still going to do more damage over time and initial hits as well. Because you're just ignoring more of the target's defense, which is where you're going to get most bang for your buck, right? You know what? I'll just throw it on now. It's free REGEAR. You want to change it back, you can. But this is the build that I would recommend going forward. Max out this boot, max out the chest plate, max out the helmet, and you're looking amazing. Over time, you're going to get even better gear anyways. The reaction pieces are 5-star. The chest plate is 5-star. You know, you could do for some better substats over time too, which will take a while, but like this piece is insane. Triple speed, which is really a quad speed if you think about it, because it's all mythical. So yeah, I mean, Anyways, that's going to be it for this one, guys. So in the end, we were able to bump the speed on the Rotos. We were able to bump the damage. We were able to bump the speed and damage on Wukong. He has room for growth as well. He could get potentially, he already has the speed here, so he could get potentially more crit damage, more attack on here, on the chest plate, on the helmet, and on the attack weapon there. So, and then lastly is Taras, who will be probably a staple on his account. You're going to want to farm Sand Devil for this, get more damage here with HP percent, here HP with Sand Devil, and then down here, you're going to want to go for HP and then more HP. So that's going to be it for this one, guys. Thank you, Xavier, for letting me hop on your account, man. I really appreciate it. And I hope this helps you guys in terms of how to continuously gear your champions if you're trying to make them even stronger and get into more endgame builds. Thanks again. Take care.